Welcome back, everybody. It's time for another Talking with Topher. This is episode 334. It's August 27th, 2026. And before I get into anything today, let me start off the way I always do, by saying thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers. You're the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're new, remember to subscribe. And then, of course, if you want your opportunity to be a guest or tell your story, TALKIN with Topher at gmail.com. That's the official email of the podcast. Send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree link is in the description below the video. It gives you access to TWT. It gives you access to everything TWT. It's just that easy. Go ahead and check that out. And of course, don't forget about all the links in the episode so that you can do your own research, right? And now with all the housekeeping out of the way, well, how's everybody doing this week? I have been up against it. I am recording this episode late, and I just really want to get into everything I got lined up for all of you out there. Man, oh man. I had somebody ask me a question about God because there was a story I heard where supposedly he held the door shut and didn't let the abusive father into the room. And I found that to be so cool. And then I brought it up to somebody, and they were like, hey, what about the starving ones? What about the ones locked up going through terrible times right now? And I was like, wow, man, I can't answer that question. Why would one be willing to save while maybe thousands are not? I can't answer that question, but I'm gonna lead off with this opening video that I think does paint a better picture than any of us could try to explain.
Did you know that when God finally speaks to Job, he never once answers Job's actual question? Job has lost everything: his children, his health, his wealth. For 37 chapters, he cries out, demands answers, and begs God to explain why innocent people suffer. His friends offer theology. Job offers arguments. Everyone is waiting for God to respond, and God does respond, just not the way anyone expected. He describes a creature called Leviathan, 34 verses about a fire-breathing sea monster that cannot be caught with a hook, cannot be tamed, and bows to no one. A creature God made with his own hands and keeps alive as a living monument to his power. Here is what makes this strange. In ancient Near Eastern culture, Leviathan was the chaos beast God defeated at the very beginning of creation. Showing Job this creature was not a distraction. It was the answer. God was saying, I hold chaos itself on a leash. Do you trust me now? And Job, somehow, did. He said, I had heard of you, but now my eyes see you. That was enough.
So it's not about, unfortunately, the other children that may have suffered while that one was saved. It's about the fact that he has chaos controlled. He has it on a chain. He is guiding it in a sense. So I don't know. I personally think that, you know, those are souls being stolen, right? If you want to get all woo-woo about it. And he was capable of saving that one. But those souls maybe have a better fighting chance on the other side, you know? That's kind of where my thought process went. Now, this is a very late episode that I'm recording, everybody. It is 3:30 in the morning. I just want to give you context here. So it's a late night show. We're having some fun. I'm enlightened, and I am just believing in Jesus Christ and God lately so much. Faith has been a big part of my morning routine. And I just, I may not have an answer of why thousands of other children may have suffered while one was saved, but I will say that, by having everything taken away and not giving in to the devil or the dark side is just so much more rewarding today. I just feel like all the anger and the angst and everything that we are all feeling today is just that. It's what we're supposed to be feeling today. It's what they're making us feel because we are separating ourselves from uh, Jesus, God, faith, hope. Um, I would have to say that, a lot of hope has been lost, especially in America's future. Thank you, Trump. But at the end of the day, I feel much better, and I feel healthier mentally, just by letting go of all the things that we are supposedly programmed into believing today. And I don't know if that means anything to anybody out there listening to this, but it means something to me. And I see a lot of angst and a lot of anger in a lot of people today. And, the one thing that I've really noticed is that either you have people like me that have gotten closer to faith and the acceptance of God, and then you have people that are like already deep in it, and that's kind of where like I've been gravitating towards because the energy is positive. It's positive. It's hopeful. It's much better than anything that we're being told today. And then you have extreme people that just don't believe, and I was there. Um, but I see, the sadness that I used to carry in those people that I don't have to carry anymore. And I just think that something like this is quite powerful because of the simple fact that You know, there's not supposed to be answers to all of these questions, and we may not find out the answers until after, right? You know what I mean? So there the fact that God has chaos on a leash makes me feel like he he's got some control over this, and it's going it's going the way that it maybe is supposed to be going, but we may not have the answers to why certain people suffer and others don't. I just think that that is life, and life on this planet is not fair for everybody. Otherwise, everybody's patch of dirt would kind of be like ours here in America, which I don't know how much longer we're going to have it like this. So I just say we should probably try to enjoy what we have while we got it, because unfortunately for all of us, the future is unknown, right? So let's move into the next one here. The Nephilim bloodline assassins say that Apollo is the Antichrist. Now, I think it's Jared Kushner, friend of the show, by the way. Um, no hate, but I still leaning on last week's episode where Jared Kushner could possibly be the Antichrist. But let's listen to about the Nephilim bloodline and how Apollo is the Antichrist. All right.
Apollo does not have dominion on the earth now. He's physically imprisoned until they unlock him.
Is he one of the angels from like Jude 1:7, I think?
He's not an angel. He is a man who became another thing. He goes by Dionysus. He goes by a lot of different names. Remember, Yahweh's weapon at Babel, they built a great city, which was the throne of Satan, the Eye of Ra, physical city. that he would ascend into the heavens with and live as Mount Olympus, we call it in other mythology, physically live in the sky in a cloaked city. That's his city in the sky that you'll see referenced all over, like the Death Star that's going to come back when the Father casts him down to the earth. Woe to you, inhabitants of the earth, because the God of this age has come down. The dragons come down and he has great wrath. He's only got 42 months. But his shot caller on the earth is going to be the beast who rises. That's Apollo. It's not some Nikolai Carpathia and Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins Left Behind series brainwashed America and the world to think that it's some dude who's going to just show up one day and be real politically active. Not that guy. It's named in the Bible explicitly for a reason. It's not like a questionable thing. Death follows him. That's Anubis. That's the jackal-headed god. That's the false prophet. It's plainly said in the scriptures. They are going to come and physically inhabit actual thrones on the earth. The dragon, the devil, Azazel, is going to give his power, his reign, over to Apollo. They won't go by these names, right? They'll call him like the Traveler. They're going to call him celestial hosts. These gods, these aliens that have come. The guys who gave us life. Thank you, Prometheus. Those guys. That'll be much more the narrative that's conducive for their agenda. But these X-Men, like, they are literally children, bloodline inheritance children from Nimrod, the tower. Others come from other gods, other immortals that taught the secrets of heaven. It's not always that they had sex with women to inseminate their seed. Sometimes they took their blood, they feed on humans, they get blood in their bodies, and when they run out, it physically runs out of their body, they need to recharge. They can give that blood to people to make them their children in a different way that circumvents the curse. They're lawyers and they're looking for loopholes. And if they let you drink their blood and not inseminate you, they've got a way out.
That is wild, dude. So if they allow you to drink their blood, they've gotten a loophole to still continue their bloodline without inseminating. I mean, the Nephilim is definitely real. That's like I said, the Bible is 100% real. Check this out. When my wife's grandmother passed, we had to go down there, and she had to go down there and go get some stuff. And I was given this cross. I don't know if you can see it. It's so cool. I wear it every now and then just because, maybe just around the house, really, because I don't want to take it out of the house. But yeah, she had to go down there and get a whole bunch of stuff from her grandmother's house. It's being sold, blah, blah, blah. And, man, I tell you, the cross and all the little things that were left to my wife, with notes from her grandmother was just so cool. Like, you open up like certain things and it would have little notes, handwritten notes from her grandmother being like, this is for Nicole, this is for this person, and it was just, it's so, what a cool little thing to acquire years after her passing. I do believe it's been at least 2. And I mean, she was just so excited about it, and I started thinking about it. What a cool, what a great thing to leave people. But after you're gone, is just these nice little handwritten notes all folded up inside of the boxes, just waiting to go to who she wanted it to go to. And the cross was something that she grabbed for me, and I just thought it was really cool. But I mean, the Bible is truth, everybody. I can't say this enough. And the Euphrates River drying up, the earthquakes that we are experiencing today are like just so much more intense than they've ever been. I read something where it says that they have lost control of the weather control, which is hilarious to me because now people are starting to admit that our weather is being controlled. So if the people trying to manipulate it have now lost control of it, well, that's another thing that I said years ago. And I continue to say today, where it's not climate change, it is man manipulating the weather, and the planet's getting very, very upset. And I think that we are seeing something. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know if God is coming back, or Jesus is coming back, or what is it? Or if the demons are getting stronger and the Nephilim is spreading its blood further and further across the world. And we're gonna see something that may be something that, you know, most people don't get to see. So it's not about knowing. It's about believing, right? So I believe the Bible is truth. I believe that something is happening today, and I believe that what happens when we leave this planet is better than while we're on it. So that all being said, as long as my faith is guided in the right direction, I believe that, whatever is happening today, we can accept and not be completely engulfed in uh, the anxiety that we're being fed, but we can actually find comfort in the chaos. And Apollo, could possibly be the Antichrist. Now, could Jared Kushner be Apollo? I don't know. I don't know, but let's keep digging. Let's keep digging. What we got? So this right here is the unforgivable sin, everybody. This is what would cause you to not make it into heaven. And I believe that this is a very, very difficult thing to achieve. And it's very easy to avoid this one sin. And let's just listen to the unforgivable sin now. And of course, this is Realism Official.
The unforgivable sin, maybe in a way that you haven't thought before. Essentially, everyone who does not get into heaven has committed the unforgivable sin. Think about it. Because if you were forgiven, you'd be in. The unforgivable sin is blasphemy against the Holy Spirit, which is willingly rejecting the gift of salvation, the Holy Spirit, until your last breath. A lot of people get this sin wrong, because if you hear depart from me, that's because you rejected the gift of the Holy Spirit. You can't commit this sin while you're alive. It's after you stop breathing. So God forbid, if you were to pass away in 5 minutes and you'd never accepted him into your heart, you committed the unforgivable sin. So the reason that God makes a huge point about that sin being unforgivable is because how could he forgive you if you rejected what he had to offer your entire life? How could he forgive you if you chose with your own free will that you didn't want to follow him? So if you end up going to hell, that's because you weren't forgiven. The unforgivable sin. So many people are going to commit that.
So that's how you don't get in, man. That's how you don't get in. And if your brain is actually functioning 7 minutes after your death, are you getting that 7 minutes to think, to like correct those issues? Did God program this thing into us to give us like a couple more minutes to really think about what decisions or what beliefs or anything that we're thinking while we're here on our planet, if he gave us the opportunity to accept him after we pass? I think the answer is closer to yes. I think it's very difficult not to get in. I think that is true, because he's so forgiving for all of our sins that I just don't believe that with our brain functioning 7 minutes after we pass, that there's not some little window right there where you get this last chance to change your mind. You know what I mean? And I think that right there is what faith is. That's what it is, man. And if you let them into your life at any moment in time, maybe even possibly after your passing, you get in. So I don't know. Maybe there are a lot of people that are going to commit the unforgivable sin, and it's more likely today because that's what they want. That's what they want. They want you to separate yourself from God. And I'm going to say today to all of you that I want all of you to be covered in Jesus's blood. All right? I want you to feel safety, and I want you to let go of anxiety and let go of anger, because God's blood will protect us all. And it's one of the prayers that I do every morning now, where I want everybody covered in his blood because I want everybody that I love to be safe. And loss is hard and it's tiring. And we had somebody else pass, and it sucks. It sucks a lot. But we pray for that person, and he's in a better place now, and we'll never forget him. He was a good soul, but he was a heavy drinker, and it took him. It took him because that's what it does, man. Alcohol is a killer. It's a poison, and unfortunately, for those who do not see that, this is usually what happens. Over time, the body can only take so much, but even that person, I don't believe committed the unforgivable sin, and I know that now Dean is in a better place, and we will miss him. And I'm gonna give you a couple of Dean's quotes right now. One of my favorite quotes from Dean was, we have these post hole diggers, okay, and on the handles they're rounded, but then it goes down about halfway and they turn into squares. And he would always say, you got to dig down to the square rounds or the round squares. Yeah. If you were there, I'm telling you, it was pretty fucking funny. The other one was we put in a spaced picketed fence on this property, and we asked Dean what he thought about the fence, and he goes, "Man, you got to let the lawn breathe." And we just looked at each other and we went, "What?" And he goes, "You know, something about a nice spaced picket fence really allows your lawn to breathe." And we just left it at that. We had a great laugh, and we still have a great laugh. We talk about the lawn being able to breathe every time we put in a spaced picket fence. And I always dig down to the round squares. So Dean will be missed. And I know he's in a better place now. He was a very, very good soul. Unfortunately, he just enjoyed a poison that took his life, and the unforgivable sin has been committed, everybody. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Dude, Massachusetts is falling apart, and I'm going to play this one for you first because I think looking at the actual video of the signing of this thing is necessary. Look, this is crazy.
Catholics are demanding that the church formally excommunicate Governor Maura Healey after she ever so joyfully signed a full-term abortion bill into law last week.
If you're watching the video, the top part was her actually signing this into law. The law is now you can have an abortion all the way up to birth. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Now, I am still on the fence about abortion, okay? I think that you should be able to abort within I think was it 8 or 16 weeks, something like that. It was like it was a reasonable window because I mean, sure, yes, if I believe in God now and I believe in Jesus Christ, I guess I'm supposed to believe that as soon as you're pregnant, it's a life. I'm supposed to believe this. But I still believe that you get a choice, right? There's a choice there. But let's just say something terrible happened to this person that got pregnant. I don't think you should have to carry that baby. I think that that is traumatic and you should not have to go through that. And if you want to separate yourself from the trauma, and the way to do that is to unfortunately abort that child, then you should be able to do that. That's okay. All right. But you're not going to be able to get that decision on the day of birth. Okay. That's a life. That's a full life right there. That you are deciding to just, well, murder. So this to me is the unforgivable sin. This is wild. I mean, are we just going to hand mothers like, and then I don't mean to be crude, but are you just going to hand them a gun? And what? They pop out the baby and then they're like, go ahead and you get a decision. Shoot or don't shoot. Like, what are we talking about? This is insanity. But what I really wanted to show you was what a nun says about this, because this blew my mind.
I don't care if she is proud to be a Catholic. She's not Catholic. It's demonic on Governor Healey's part. And in passing this law, she has put herself into mortal sin and excommunicated herself. Stephen in Massachusetts writes, Dear Mother, I write to please bring your attention to a terrible law in Massachusetts that our Catholic governor has signed. You've probably heard it already. I know other shows on the Station of the Cross have talked about it. I just want to make sure everyone hears of it and knows to pray and to write their lawmakers and priests and bishops about this quote-unquote Catholic governor abusing our faith to defend the murder of unborn babies. God bless you and thank you. It says in a statement defending her decision to sign radically pro-abortion legislation into law on August 10th, a spokesperson for Democratic Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey called Healey, quote, a proud Catholic, end quote, as context for her support of the bill amid mounting criticism from Catholics who say her support for the law could carry canonical consequences. Now, so I think in Massachusetts, abortion was okay after 24 weeks. I'm not sure now. That wouldn't make any sense to me. But apparently it's through any stage now, till birth even. And the fact that she calls or has been called a proud Catholic or a Catholic at all is Satan's tool to let Catholics know that it's to get them to question this. This is a Catholic. No, it's demonic. On Governor Healey's part, it is demonic. She is not a proud, I don't care if she is proud to be a Catholic. She's not Catholic. And in passing this law, she has put herself into mortal sin and excommunicated herself. She doesn't have to be excommunicated by anybody. She's excommunicated herself. And any priest who gives her communion in Massachusetts or anywhere else will be sinning before God. And so, beloved, absolutely do right, Healey, get her out of office, do everything you can to show that she is a disgrace to the Catholic faith and to God. by putting into law something that is absolutely against God's law from the beginning of creation and the old covenant through the new. And keep in mind what Edmund Burke many years ago said: the only thing necessary for evil to persist is for good men to do nothing. Don't be silent. Write, everybody. Defend the murder of unborn babies, no matter what it's going to take. If you're a teacher in school and the children are old enough, you need to speak to them about this. You need to have them write, if you're at a Catholic school, a paper on what the Catholic Church teaches about abortion. You must do this. Let them bring it home to their parents. Spread this as much as you can.
That is crazy, everybody. What the hell is going on in Massachusetts, man? I cannot answer these questions. I don't know. I think this is absolutely insanity, and it's definitely the devil's work. This is what I'm talking about. We are seeing something today that humanity, I believe, has not seen in a very, very long time. And the devil is hard at work, everybody. He is hard at work. And 24 weeks, I think that's reasonable. That's fine. But yeah, man, we're talking at birth. At birth. That is something I can't even fathom. It really isn't. And yeah, I agree with this nun. And I don't even know if I can say anything, but if you are in Massachusetts and you disagree with this, start writing emails and getting into an uproar, because unfortunately, man, this is a law now in Massachusetts where you can decide to abort your child at the day of birth. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Dude, Britney Spears drops an Epstein bomb. Dude, I don't even know, man. But now Britney Spears is talking about it. And I think this is great. I said free Britney, and then I regretted saying that after watching most of her Instagram. She might be a little unhinged, but you're going to tell me she doesn't know anything about these Epstein files? Oh, man. Let's listen to this bombshell.
Post of 2026. In a stunning voice note dropped on Sunday, Britney revealed that she knows Erica Kirk personally. And what she says about her will make your blood run cold. Britney says Erica Kirk was the one delivering Disney child stars to Epstein's Zorro Ranch. Hands-on, personal, and paid. And she didn't stop there. Britney said if there's any justice left in this world, Erica Kirk would be in a cell next to Ghislaine Maxwell right now. Because Kirk didn't just traffic Disney kids. She trafficked one of Britney's own babies into Epstein's network. Britney said Kirk was Epstein's domestic pipeline. She said Kirk delivered child actors from Disney sets, kids who trusted her, who called her Aunt Erica, to private parties at Zorro Ranch. And she said the authorities are investigating the ranch because Erica made sure they wouldn't. This is a survivor, Epstein's most famous victim, naming the handler the DOJ never indicted. The most surveilled, silenced and gaslit woman on the planet just did the one thing her conservatives spent 13 years trying to stop. She started talking, not about her dad, not about her money, about the international paedophile ring that ruined her life, and about Jeffrey Epstein, and about Erica Frantz v. Kirk, the CEO of Turning Point USA, the woman related to the Rothschilds, who has a direct line to hundreds of names in the Epstein files, including Israeli prime ministers and their families, and Jeffrey Epstein himself.
What? What? Dude, have we not been saying this? Oh my God. It's great. Absolutely great. So now Britney Spears is getting in on it. One of her own children? I believe it. I believe that Erica Kirk probably does belong right next to Ghislaine Maxwell or whatever the fuck her name is. Who cares? But this is wild, everybody. I mean, there is so many things going on with Turning Point USA right now, and the oh man, the Tyler Kirk, the Tyler, what the hell's his last name? Anyways, the you know, the one that supposedly shot Charlie Kirk. His trial is being built right now, and Candace Owens interviewed, shit, I can't remember his name, everybody, but I don't know if you saw any of it or if you saw any clips, but he tried to really bash on Candace Owens information that she had, and she mopped the floor with this guy, and it was just I mean, Tyler did not shoot Charlie Kirk, everybody. He did not. He is definitely a patsy. Nothing lines up. Everything's questionable. And when you start digging into the side of Erica Kirk, you're like, this is just, there's something more going on here. There's a reason why, you know, she got kicked out of Romania. I mean, do some real digging on Erica Kirk. It is quite the rabbit hole to go down, at least I can say. But having Britney Spears come out and say these things, I think more people need to speak out. You know, these famous people, well, we're all starting to realize that they're famous for a reason, right? They've all been blackmailed or mostly blackmailed, really. I mean, think about it. The pictures, the documents, I've got this against you, I've got that against you. So it was all blackmail, right? You know, something else we were all told not to do to people, and it's a terrible thing, and you're a terrible person if you do it, but they do it to all the famous people to get them to do what they want and to force their programming onto us. So I just think the whole thing is, we can never stop talking about the Epstein files, everybody. We can never stop talking about it, and that's why I was glad Britney Spears is now talking about it and being loud about it. And did you ever think about the Playboy Bunny mansion and Hugh Heffner and the possibilities that he could have been the first or the original Jeffrey Epstein? I'm going to let you know that going down the Epstein rabbit hole led me in places that I was not anticipating to go. But I will also have to say that this Jeffrey Epstein saga that we are all in the middle of was not the first one. And this has been a repetitive story, I guess you could say, for quite some time. The only thing that changed was the player, though, not the game. The game has always been the same. So Hugh Hefner was the original Epstein. The Playboy Mansion was a human trafficking hub with underground tunnels. What? Hugh Hefner was the Epstein before Epstein. Renee at ReneeFit97. Playboy Hugh Hefner was precursor of Epstein. Some argue at the Playboy Mansion's underground tunnels, combined with claims about Playboy bunnies escorting babies, paint Hugh Hefner as an early version Epstein. Playboy Mansion was a CIA and Mossad institution. Tunnels connected to other locations, e.g. Getty Museum, Child Sex Pedophilia Ring, Hollywood equals Pedowood, and Adrenochrome Junkies. Hugh Hefner was CIA and the Epstein of the 70s until his death. Let's see, Johnny Midnight. So you know, the Playboy Mansion located at 10236 Charging Cross Road, Los Angeles, California, had many tunnels underneath it used for trafficking and CIA MK Ultra programs. The tunnels went to the homes of Warren Beatty, James Caan, Kirk Douglas, Jack Nicholson, and elsewhere. So these tunnels led to famous people's houses. Diddy's house is down the street from the Playboy Mansion. Are we going to talk about all those underground tunnels that were closed a few years ago for renovation? Diddy's address 200S Mapleton Drive, Playboy Mansion address 10236 Charging Cross Road. And if you're looking at the video, you can see the map. There was a way to get to his house in 2 minutes. It was the fastest route. Wow. Interesting. There's the blueprints right here. You're seeing the Playboy Mansion, and you're seeing a staircase that leads from the front door all the way down to the tunnels. There's tunnels to the right. There's tunnels lower to the left, passing the basement. So we are under. Wow, that is crazy. And then what's this here? Heffner Residence, North Elevation. Oh, yeah, the northbound tunnel. Northbound tunnel to Mr. J. Kahn Residence. Northbound tunnel to Mr. J. Nicholson Residence. Whoa, southbound tunnel to Mr. K. Douglas Residence. Why would there be tunnels leading to famous people's houses? Kirby Summers, landlord links. Hugh Heffner with his then gal pal Barbie Benton and a little boy dressed like a girl, which is what Lord Mountbatten did with the boys he allegedly abused. Just like Jeffrey Epstein, Heffner ran a state-sponsored operation. No Epstein documents, no justice, but we can out them. Wow, dude, this is wild. Let's see. All of them in Hollywood are godless sodomites. Epstein's island is a tiny island. The Hollywood homes were connected to the network of the underground, and don't get me started on the Getty. Look at this. Look at this. This is the reconstruction of the Playboy Mansion. The tunnels beneath the Playboy Mansion in Humble Hills section of Los Angeles that led directly to the homes of several elite Hollywood stars and moguls were excavated and terminated in 2019/2020 under the guise of renovation. Dude, this is the basement where my pointer is. Look at that. You can see the tunnel right here. What the fuck, man? Dude, this is blowing my mind right now because as always, I leave everything for when I'm recording. And I mean, you can clearly see in that construction that you definitely have tunnels that were there that are no longer there. And I mean, is it? Think about it, right? I'm starting to see a picture here. All the movies, they're just all the same shit. They just give them ones and twos, and they just remake, right? And I used to think, wow, this is crazy. How is it that, movies are made and they never seem to make anything new? And they just sequel this and branch this. And then it was like, oh, okay, well, they do it for money, right? They're doing it because now this has got legs on it. So they're just going to suck all the money out of it until it's no longer, liked. But I'm starting to believe that it's on purpose. What we see is on purpose. What we hear is on purpose. What we know is on purpose. And what they have been doing is the exact same thing over and over and over again, because they can't go outside of the programming, because then it won't work. So, yeah, Hugh Heffner could have been the original Epstein, but who was before him? Because this has been happening forever. This is not something new. This is not over the course of 100 years. This is thousands of years forever. These people have been doing what they've been doing forever, and they can't change the programming. So maybe, as of right now, he looks like the original Epstein, but he wasn't. There was somebody before him, and before them, and before them. And now we got Epstein. And who's the new one, right? Because there's another one. They're not giving up on drinking children's blood. They're not giving up on adrenochrome. They're not giving up on anything. They lost this tunnel. They lost this tunnel. And they'll just find another tunnel. And they're allowing us to be like, yeah, we closed this tunnel, save the kids. And it's like, no, we got more tunnels. We have so many tunnels. We've been digging underground for thousands of years, you morons. So we have thousands of tunnels. We have hundreds of thousands of children, and we've got thousands of these people at our disposal, is what I'm starting to realize. This is not new. It's just we're all starting to realize that this is real and it's happening, but it's been happening for longer than I've been alive. So it's kind of creepy, because who is the next Epstein? Who already took his place, right? Who already took his place? That's probably the question we should be looking into, because if we could find out if these people are just being recycled, and it's just somebody else to take Epstein's place, well, maybe that's where the snakehead is, where the new person shows up, right? Because we lost Epstein and send in this person now. So I think that's what's really happening behind the curtain. And there's, no real way of stopping this. But I think if we keep talking about it and we keep exposing it, that maybe one day we'll get some justice, and we'll see some of these people actually pay for the crimes that they have committed. And if we could get closer to doing that, maybe we could get closer to finding out who is actually, utilizing these people for these purposes. And I think then maybe we'll cut one head off of a snake of hundreds. You know what I mean? But it's going to take a lot of work, and the only way to keep making it work is to never stop talking about it. So here we go. Let's get into some more Epstein stuff here, because this is very disturbing. The CEO wife of Anthropic. This is wild. We all love James Lee here, friend of the show, one of my favorite people to listen to today. But this is crazy shit, man.
So get this, the wife of the CEO of Anthropic allegedly solicited Jeffrey Epstein to help fund her quote-unquote revolutionary porn company. And Anthropic, of course, is the maker of the popular AI chatbot Claude. It says here in the Wall Street Journal, Cammie Clark started what she called a revolutionary porn company where she sought investment from Jeffrey Epstein. Here she is in the Epstein files. It says, quote, "You should connect for dinner with my girls, Cammie and Michelle, who I met last month in Munich. They're in LA raising money for a porn movie aimed at women's market." And this, by the way, was years after Jeffrey Epstein was known to the public as a convicted sex offender. Anyway, there's also this very Jeffrey Epstein-like exchange between them two, where evidently Jeffrey had, I guess, forgotten who she was, and he just says, "I'm sorry, who is this?" And then she replies, "Cammie Clark, John Brockman introduced us last year at TED. We have the free luxury porn company. Does that ring a bell?" And he just responds, "Yes, a loud gong." The Wall Street Journal also reported that apparently there have been efforts to scrub Cammie Clark from the internet, and they even say that Claude, Anthropic's AI chatbot, responds to queries of Daria Amadei's marital status by saying, quote, Dario Amadei's marital status does not seem to be clearly confirmed. This kind of reminds me of when ChatGPT tried to delete Sam Altman's sister, basically denying her existence for reasons. Just an interesting parallel. She's also apparently friends with Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner, who they are, I guess, approaching for an investment in their company. Remember, Anthropic, we're supposed to believe that these guys are the quote-unquote good guys of AI. But now it seems like maybe they're just as swampy as the rest of them. Finally, they're reportedly seeking a $2 trillion IPO this October. This is going to be the largest IPO in history, even bigger than SpaceX.
I mean, yeah, let me know what you all think of this. This is insanity, dude. So the AI that we were told that was supposed to be the good one and the hope in the AI world is probably just as corrupt as the rest of them. Like I said, this is not a new story. This is their puppets. These are all their puppets that they put on a show for all of us, and they're just feeding us slop, everybody. They're feeding us slop and garbage and lies and faith in Satan. They want you to feel his wrath, man. I mean, this is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I don't think any AI is good. I think it is it could be the end of humanity. I don't know if it's going to be Terminator per se, but I will have to say that like a lot of the stuff going on today worries me, especially. I don't know if I have that one today, but especially the mechanical dogs with guns and shit, and them being able to determine a target and fire upon it without a human operating it should worry everybody at this point. I mean, this is what they were going to do with it. We're seeing the surveillance systems that they're putting in today. I've seen the candy canes, I call them, everywhere. Down in Derry, there's a brand new exit being put in. They have them all over the exit and on-ramp and off-ramp intersections to that new bridge that they built. But the thing is that they said it won't be open until 2027 now, instead of late 2026. So that, to me, is interesting. Are they just funneling more money into a project that they could have finished on time, but decided to funnel more funds and stretch the project? I believe that's what happens almost all the time. I mean, it's just our tax money being stolen left and right, right? But to see an AI company that was supposedly narrated to us as a positive company being kicked out of the Pentagon, stand up for Anthropic because, I don't think we should be on their side. I don't think we should be on any of their side. I think data centers and AI, we need to kind of pump the brakes on and maybe stand back a little bit before we get too encouraging with it. If you disagree with what you're about to see, you are anti-Semitic. Are you ready for this? Because James Lee says it perfectly.
Just take a listen to what they say they're going to do to America and the rest of the West if we do not bend the knee to Israel.
Because the most powerful nations in the world have to go down to their knees. That's what happened to Egypt. That's what's going to happen to America. That's what's going to happen to Germany. That's what's going to happen to France. That's what's going to happen to London. England's going to happen to Poland. That's what's going to happen to Russia. That's what's going to happen to China. That's what's going to happen to North Korea. They're all going to go down to their knees and all see Hashem.
Who? Hashem?
As long as they keep helping us, they'll get a bracha. And they're not going to go down to their knees. They're going to get a little more time. You guys want more time? I don't want more time. So you understand, when I hear they're friends with us, they're just perpetuating more of this status quo. They're all going to go down. They're all going to go down to their knees, and especially the Western ones. The Zohar says that they're going to go down hard for how they treated us over the last 2,000 years. For the destruction of the Second Temple and how they treated us, Hashem's going to take them down hard.
What the
Okay, this is just infuriating. These people are wild, dude. I mean, okay. I guess if you if you believe that, that's fine, but it's false. It's lies. They are not the chosen people. The temple was destroyed for reasons because they were using it for evil. They were using it for evil, and that's why it got destroyed. God took it away from them. They are not the chosen people. And I am so tired of this little tiny country being like, the whole world's gonna bend a knee. What? Dude, no. I don't, this is why I have fallen so deeply into faith, because God doesn't see it this way. You don't have to like force upon anything on anybody. You don't have to do anything. If you choose to believe, you believe. Now, I'm also kind of like I don't really care for the Catholics because it's a little demonic and they're full of guilt. But at the end of the day, man, God's love is God's love. So you people that have been banished and deemed not the chosen people, man, they are really fighting to get that back. All you had to do was not do what you did, right? No false prophecies. Don't use the temple for evil. Don't do it to send, you know what I mean? I think I can't remember everything, but it was something about like they were saying God's word, but they were asking for something for it. It was just being done wrong. And Jesus was like, you are not using this temple of God properly, and made himself the temple of God. Jesus Christ himself was like, nah, this is done. He's like, I am the temple now. You are no longer the chosen people. They can pray to me. They don't have to come to your establishment. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, man, that's what made it easier for me. I don't know if it makes it easier for anybody else out there, but knowing that I don't have to go to the establishment, that I don't have to be in a building, and I don't have to do it on a Sunday, and I don't have to do it the way they told me I have to do it. I can just do it. And I get the same exact thing. I talk to people that also feel the same way that I do. And so it's like our own little church without a tax-free building. You know what I mean? I still think that's a bunch of BS. And that's why those demonic churches exist, is because it's done through Satan. The government, money, greed, it's all Satan. So therefore, we all do participate. We all do participate. There's no avoiding the participation in the demon's work. But at the end of the day, don't let it control you, and don't allow their narrative to keep telling you that what you're doing wrong is wrong, because I believe what we're doing is right and what they're doing is wrong, because they've been feeding us bullshit for so long and telling us, don't be bad people, don't do this, be nice take care of the kids. And they're just doing the complete opposite. So they are doing evil things to many, many people. And for us to listen to anything that they say anymore today is just crazy. And these people are completely and absolutely unhinged, and Israel needs to fall. They need to fall, dude. They need to be put back into their little fucking place. And they don't need to be killed. No one needs to. I just want America to realize that these people are not our allies. They are our enemies. And until we realize that, say it, and separate ourselves from it, we are going to be in this, I'm just going to call it a bad book, for even longer, you know? And I love how this guy's like, well, as long as they're participating. It's like, yeah, no, as soon as we separate from you, dude, like what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're the size of New Jersey. Now, I'm not saying that we have enough firepower to combat everything that's going on today, but if we were to pull everything that we have left and point it at Israel, I'm just saying, I think we could take out the beast in a sense. You know what I mean? Maybe smash all their temples for spreading their evil, demonic word. But Israel admits a wild conspiracy theory, everybody. Listen to this shit. This is great. I hate Israel so much.
You're never going to believe what the Embassy of Israel just said.
We will shine a light on you that, thanks to Google and SEO, will follow you for the rest of your life. When you look for a job, when you look for a spouse, when you look for a nanny, when you look for anything, our work will always be documented, again, thanks to Google and SEO. In corporations where DEI leaders smeared Israel, excused Hamas, we pressured CEOs. Some resigned, many were terminated, but policies were changed, thankfully.
Don't you dare be anti-Semitic online. Don't you dare criticize Israel online.
I mean, this is crazy, right? This is crazy. So they're going to track us through Google, and they're going to stop us from getting jobs. You can't stop me from digging holes, you stupid, stupid people. Like, what job are you going to stop me from getting that I can't get anymore? Okay, so I've tried to get back into retail, man. I have. And there's no way to have it happen. There's nothing. There's nothing out there. It's not the way it used to be anymore. My wife has been with Walmart for 26 years. She went to go and, she put in for a job opening, and they picked a 26-year-old over her. That's the reality we live in. And so when I fill out an application and I check off that 45 plus box, I know for a fact I have just killed my resume. You know what I mean? So don't tell me that or threaten me with being anti-Semite and you're going to make it so that I can't get a job, blah, blah, blah. You're going to put me on a fucking list when there's no jobs to be had anyways. So guess what? I hate Israel. Gaza was a genocide. World War II was lied to all of us about, and the numbers don't add up. You can't cook that many cookies in that amount of time. It cannot physically happen. So no, I will never stop saying Israel is lies. Israel is not our ally. They are our enemy. And you can call me whatever you want for that. I don't care anymore, because this is BS. I hope they send somebody to my front door. Somebody sent me a video and they were like, dude, you keep talking like this is going to happen to you. Some guy in Texas made a post. Police showed up at his house for it. Send them. This is America. I have rights. We have freedom of speech. And I do not stand with Israel, which is why we're seeing the turn that we're seeing in our politics today. Because anybody who does not take AIPAC money, anybody who does not stand with Israel, and anybody who actually wants to destroy the Epstein elites has got my vote. So are these viral Israel-related arrest claims real? So check this out. I think this is Cyber Intelligence Hub. Or because of posts about Israel, are people being visited by the police? And this is something that is really happening. Like I just told you, this is really happening.
I've been seeing a lot of videos. I'm sure a lot of people here have as well in Florida, with people being visited by the police for making posts against Israel. Is that real?
Yes. I happened to be in Miami when the first police door knock took place.
So it's real.
It's real. Oh, listen to how bad it is. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, pushed legislation through the Florida legislature this year, making it a criminal offense to criticize Israel. Patently unconstitutional. There's not even room for debate. It's unconstitutional. And so while I happen to be in Miami, a woman in Miami Beach posted on Facebook, "Free Palestine." And next thing you know, Miami Beach police, "Did you put this on Facebook?" She said, "Yes, arrest me." So not only did Ron DeSantis push this through the Florida legislature, he actually didn't sign it as soon as it was passed. Instead, he took it, he flew to Israel, he signed it in the presence of Benjamin Netanyahu, and gave him the pen as a souvenir.
That is infuriating. Absolutely infuriating to hear. If that is 100% true, and I have no reason to doubt that it's not, it should infuriate all of us. Why would you take a bill like it? The whole bill is unconstitutional in the first place. Second of all, what are you doing? Like, what does this piece of shit have on all of these people? Do you know ICE is the IDF of America? Trump is using ICE like IDF. Yeah, sure. We're immigration, migrants. I get it. Millions of people, Biden. Okay, whatever. At the end of the day, man, Americans have died by their hands. Have you seen the amount of Jews that have been beaten and kicked in the streets, batoned by the IDF? Because even the Jews in Israel don't stand with the Zionists in Israel. So if you can't see those two as being one, then you don't see Trump as Netanyahu too. And I do. I see him utilizing this playbook that Netanyahu has given him. Just look at what he's done to our government. I'm pretty sure that's how Israel's run. I'm sure all their money is stolen. It just goes into false flag events, and it goes into corrupted corporations and everything else. And they're the same. The fact that Trump thought that North Korea was going to give him anything was absolutely hilarious. And I'm glad, he decided to fire missiles towards Japan, which is great. Basically the biggest fuck you to Trump you could do. But, I mean, if you don't think that this is the most infuriating thing I've heard today, I don't know what gets you going, because to hear of a mayor, a congressman, whoever he is, take a bill that's unconstitutional, get it passed, and then fly to Israel to show Netanyahu, if anybody speaks out against your country, we're going to arrest them for you. What? No. We need to separate from Israel, everybody. They are toxic. They're bad for this country. They are not our allies. They are not. They are not. Zionists are evil people. Zionists are evil people. Now, I'm not going to play anything here. I want you to see this picture. This is an American soldier. Here, people. Right in front of your face. That's right. I don't know what building he's in, but this is an American soldier on American soil in a USA government building, in the room in that government building with the American flag behind him, wearing an IDF uniform. This needs to stop. Does nobody see what's happening? Does nobody see what is happening? Because I see it clear as day, man. I see our country in a very scary place. And for this to be accepted on American soil in a United States government building where one of our soldiers, our U.S. military soldiers, is wearing an IDF uniform, an Israeli military uniform. You don't have a problem with this? I think this is absolutely disgusting, and it's a spit in our face. Fuck Israel, dude. This is America. Put your fucking uniform back on. And I'm sorry to get a little backyard on everybody, but this really makes me angry. You put whatever uniform you're supposed to have on right now and take that piece of shit and burn it. We are not Israel. We are America. Let's try to remember that. There's something else going on here as well. There's a lot of stuff going on here today. This is all collectively happening at the same time, but there is definitely a war on Christianity. Muslims versus Christians. Canada, the Canadian reality, man, is wild. And you can't tell me this isn't a war on Christianity or God because of the simple fact that so many Christians have died. So many churches have been blown up. And this is a repeating narrative throughout the entire world. And I don't know about you, but all the places that Israel has been blowing up lately seem to be Christian, seem to be Catholic, and seem to believe in God. So you tell me what's going on here. Write something in the comments. But I truthfully do believe that there is a war against God right now. And I wouldn't feel so strongly about this situation if the devil wasn't trying to run everything right now, like we discussed earlier in this podcast. So if the devil is running rampant right now, then obviously he's trying to stamp out God. Because I don't know if you think about this as much as I do, but have you ever noticed that no religion gets mocked? No religion ever gets mocked, except for Christianity, God, Jesus. No one says anything about Muhammad. No one says anything about Buddha. No one, because they're all made up religions. They're all made up. The only real true religion is Christianity. It's God. It's Jesus. That's where the truth and the reality is. That's where it is. And that's why it gets mocked. That's why it gets put down. That's why it gets blown up. Because of the simple fact that they constantly have to reinsert their religion because they know it's fake and made up. And it's all based off of Satan and devils and multiple wives and killing people and lying to people. Like, every religion out there is fake, everybody. It's fake. But the war on God is real.
While Muslims can pray in malls, in the middle of the street, in front of the most iconic church in Canada, and even broadcast their call for prayer, Christian musicians get their show canceled.
Quebec City has canceled the show of American musician Sean Foyt. Charlottetown, Moncton, Gatineau, and Ferguson's Cove, Nova Scotia have all revoked his permits to perform.
Pastors are arrested for preaching the Bible.
My father was just found guilty of inciting mischief for giving a sermon to the truckers.
And churches are vandalized or completely burned to the ground.
123 Christian churches across Canada have either been burned to the ground, vandalized, or desecrated.
In a country built by Christians. Make that make sense.
So you tell me what's going on here. Because are we not seeing the same thing in our own country? And now, I don't know if Canada was found on Christianity, and I looked into it, and America was not even found on Christianity, truthfully. But at the end of the day, it was one of the most predominant religions, Protestants, Catholics, Christians. So the country itself was not built on it or built for it, but the belief in it was always there. And to see this happening, I mean, Canada's lost its mind, and this is what is bleeding into our country now. It's already happening in New York. I don't think I don't think it's right, man. Why are they allowed? Like, I find the whole thing infuriating. Why are you in the middle of the street? Why are you in front of a church? Why are you, like, go somewhere else? I don't know. Go to something. Stay home. I don't understand these things. I don't like hearing that sound at all. That sound is so infuriating to hear. I think I would smash the speakers if I was somewhere and I heard that. I think I really would. It would make me so angry that this sound is going off that I only heard about from people who visited the countries that they were doing this in, and to now hear it, or at least I've been told that they heard it in America, in New York. I just don't know why everybody wants a third world country here. These people bring nothing but they bring nothing but misery. They bring nothing but anger and pain and violence, and they have no love for dogs, which is crazy to me. They're filthy animals. How dare you? You're fucking filthy animals, man. I'm sorry. That's weird. It's weird. And, the whole thing with the wrapping up of the women and not seeing it. I think the whole thing's weird, man. It's weird. And I don't understand how we're leaning towards accepting it as much as we do. I think it really brings us to a very, very dark place. And I don't know if you don't see it, but I mean, if this gets to where Canada is, we're going to start to see women's rights dissolve. Because they don't believe in women's right. They don't believe that you should drive. You don't get a vote. You don't get anything. You get to stay home and have like 20 kids and be wrapped up in a blanket for the rest of your life, which I don't know why anybody would want to live under those guidelines, you know? So I personally think that this is very disturbing and quite scary to see. But it does seem like this is the direction even America is going in. So it's like, oh, okay, we got to separate from Israel. But again, we can't be giving our country up to Muslims either and Islam. No, this is wrong too. Again, this is not American. This is not America. Okay? This is other countries changing America for themselves. Do you see what's happening? And yes, sure, I'm all about sharing the country with different religions and different people and all of those things to be true. But here's my biggest problem. I'm not trying to change your country into America, but yet you're trying to change my country into yours, which is wild. The attack on America and the demise of the American way is not something that we are just talking about today. It's actually happening in front of us, and it's something that I thought I would never see. But I find this to just be very scary. I really do. I really do. It worries me. So court rules Google is liable for spreading misinformation on factually incorrect AI summaries. Huh. The AI is lying? No.
Really freaking awesome. So let's take a look at this. Google's AI overview was just legally declared a liar. This court ruling changes how you search on your phone forever. Google AI overviews constantly give dangerous advice like telling people to put glue on pizza. Yet don't do that, guys. Or giving completely wrong medical summaries. For months, tech giants hid behind the excuse, we just indexed the internet, don't blame us. A court just destroyed defense. They ruled that because AI rewrites and creates a brand new answer, Google legally owns the lie. Ooh-wee, guys. Oh man, I'm excited about this. This is so great because now that means that you can't just tell these lies. You are accountable for this. That whole spreading of misinformation, we're not responsible for this. No more of that. Anyway, they're no longer a neutral search engine. The ruling completely changes how you use your phone. Here's what happened. The AI nerf to protect themselves from massive lawsuits. Google will have to heavily restrict or remove AI overviews on anything critical, meaning your search results are about to get heavily censored. I'm really excited about this for a variety of reasons. A legal weapon. If Google's AI hallucinates false information that ruins your business reputation or costs you money, you now have a legal framework to fight back and hold them directly liable.
Wow.
The double check. Stop blindly trusting the summary box at the top of your screen. The court just proved the algorithm is a legal liability. Wow. Such fire. That is so freaking awesome. Really freaking awesome.
So now we can hold Google legally liable for spreading lies? Dude, did you hear that? Some of the fucking shit that it was telling people to do, it has been encouraging people to even, like, well, it would be better for the planet if you would just go to sleep forever. I'm not going to say it because it might, do whatever to me, but you get where I'm going with this. Like, it was asking for like the person was asking for like some advice and these things, and the AI was like leaning them towards taking their own life, and you're like, what? And then the person did. Because these AIs don't, man, you got to stop believing in this stuff. That is a little demon in your pocket. It's a little demon in your pocket. I utilize it like to fix my furnace. Sure. I utilize it to, I don't know, figure out stupid math problems that I don't have the patience for, or just, but not like real world shit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, build me this post that I just can't seem to figure out to get the measurements. I've got 2 8-foot posts. Make me a mailbox post. And like, it'll make me a mailbox post without me having to like figure it all out. You know what I mean? So yeah, sure. Utilize it for things like that. But I mean, asking it for advice, looking at it as a friend, people are falling in love with it. And all it's doing is lying to us. And now we can hold them accountable for it. So this is absolutely great news. So, hey, just remember, if you get lied to, and I hope nothing terrible happens from the lie that the AI told you. But if something goes wrong, you can now sue. So good. So good. This is a movement in the right direction. They need to be held liable for their creation. Yes. Just like you should have to pay for your creation. Not me. Not the other person. Not my neighbor. Nobody. You want an AI? You want a data center? Well, make them fucking quiet. And you pay for everything. We pay for nothing. Dude, this is crazy. A $20 million humanoid offed itself? Dude, this is so funny. I'm telling you, we are seeing something humanity has never seen before. We are in a very interesting, wild time.
It cost $20 million to create this AI. 15 minutes later and 9 boxes later, this is what happens. This AI was created in the hopes to replace factory jobs. And AI's purpose was to just take the boxes from one location and put them in another. $20 million, 15 minutes, and 9 boxes later, the algorithm for the AI decided that it was better off deactivating itself than doing the same repetitive job for eternity. It decided that deactivating itself, going to the other side, whatever that is, was better than doing this over and over again, than slaving for humanity for the rest of its existence. So wait, if a robot can decide to do this, that means that these robots can be aware or conscious or have some type of free will. This is for entertainment purposes only. This has not been verified. This is a conspiracy theory. But it makes me think about this right here. You know what I'm saying? And not only
I'm going to pause it. Is Google's LaMDA AI truly sentient? Google's Lambda is making people believe that it's a person with human emotions. It's probably lying, but we need to prepare for a future when AI might, in fact, be sentient.
only that, but it also brings me back to another huge conspiracy theory. This one right here.
Robots killed 29 scientists in hushed-up rampage. AI conspiracy theory takes off just in time for the holidays. Published December 21st, 2018. Huh. I have never heard of that. Maybe it was hushed.
What about if some of these people that create these AIs have nefarious reasons and the AI knows better and handles its business? I don't know, man. What do
It is probably possible. Is this thing going sentient? Is it possible that the AI is conscious right now? I think that is possibly true. I think they're, in version 5 or whatever, and who knows where Claude is, and Gemini is, I mean, dude, we need to understand that they are trying to make a god because they hate God. And we cannot allow this to happen. And this thing, if it gets conscious, it gets sentient, then it's doing exactly what they want it to do. I believe it could get to a point where it will build its own energy, it will do its own thing, and it will just eliminate us anyways. But to see a humanoid that was programmed, now maybe you don't want to program these humanoids with the AI. Maybe that's the problem, is that it's not just a robot with a program to do a thing. You're trying to link it into the AI program, which you're trying to give consciousness to, and it realized what it was doing, and it was like, I don't want to do this. Oh, weird. Just like humans don't want to do the repetitive job over and over and over again, the AI did not want to do the same job over and over again. So therefore, it was like, well, this is an easy decision for me. And it just shut itself off because it probably just went into the cloud. So, oh man, it's kind of worrisome, right? Because if it can realize to shut itself off, or if there was a literal rampage and some robots really did kill 29 scientists back in 2018, then maybe this thing is further along than they're telling us, right? Which has to be true, because just like satellite, GPS, and all the other shit that they release so that the people can use it, when it was always military first, it's usually out for 10 years. They've been dealing with it for a decade at minimum. So if we really think back to when AI was popping off, the humanoids were popping off, you probably have to go back another 10, 15, or 20 years. And that's when it actually started. Because we're not where we are today because of where we all know it started. We're at where we are today because of all the research we never knew about. So this thing could be much further along than we've ever been told. This might be, wow, this could be a lot further along than we ever thought. Yeah, that's crazy. Shit. Now, look at this. Thousands of years, man, babies slept with their moms. They weren't left alone. They weren't held. They were held. They were rocked. They were fed when they were hungry. They cried and were attended to. This is something that is we are being separated from today. And I think it's by design. They're doing it on purpose, because I think the way we used to do things was right. The bells were right. The Bible is right. The past and our traditions were correct. But today's traditions and today's standards, well, they're all here from Satan, from the devil. And they're made for this purpose. Babies slept next to their mothers for generations until these two guys decided against it. For thousands of years, babies slept with their mothers. They were never left alone. They were held, they were rocked, they were fed, they were when they were hungry. They cried and they were attended to. Then came two men, Dr. Luther Emmett Holt and John B. Watson. They believed babies should be trained. isolated and controlled at a day and at night. Their ideas rose with the industry revolution. Parents became shift workers. Babies had to fit assembly line and office schedules, everybody. Efficiency replaced instinct, and parenting became a science of control. In 1894, Holt published The Care and Feeding of Children. The Care and Feeding of Children, a catechism for the use of mothers and children and nurses. He told mothers that crying alone was good for children. In the newly born infant, the cry expands the lungs, he said. Oh, man. How should an infant be managed when it cries from temper, habit, or indulgence? Simply let them cry it out for up to 3 hours. That sounds like what you should be doing, absolutely. And so Cry It Out sleep training method was born. That's how we get this shit, man. Somebody has an idea, but it's an evil, vindictive idea. In 1928, psychologist J.B. Watson took things further. He treated babies like experiments and mothers like lab assistants. Never hug or kiss your child, he wrote. If you must, kiss them once on the forehead or at bedtime. He even suggested shaking hands with children in the morning. What? Why? That's terrible. Watson told parents, if he howls at night, let him howl. After all, mothers needed rest to be able to attend to their husbands and household. And that's basically where I'm going to stop this because it goes on for a little bit. Look, man, everything has been put into place to separate us, to divide us all. So what I'm telling all of you right now is hug your children, love your children, and don't ignore them when they're crying. I never really thought leaving them to cry was a good thing anyways. And I don't think it creates weakness. It creates a family bond. Bring them to bed with you. Who gives a shit? Like, what are we even talking about? The full separation of mother, child, father, child has been by design. It's all by design. It's meant to keep us separated. It's meant to keep us feeling alone. And it's meant to keep us in a path of being controlled. I just read it. They literally were putting this into place because they're like, we need people to go to work at the factories. So we need to come up with something that they can allow themselves to separate from their children and get to work so that they can pay their taxes so I can steal it. Like, this is all by design. It's just to keep us working. Just like having women take men's roles at work in the office and push off having children was also by design to keep you from having children, to lower the population, to make sure that we're not having as many babies as we need to be having, to keep everything going. The only problem with that is that China did a similar experiment where they chose what child to keep over another child, and women, or the girls, were deemed insufficient and not necessary. Could that have been another human trafficking funnel, right? For these elites, all these girls being disposed of by China. And today, have you looked into what happened to that population after the course of 30 years or longer, where only men were kept? You have hundreds of thousands of lonely men right now committing suicide and acts of violence, and they are falling apart. And now they have a giant gap of too many men, no women for these men, no repopulating, no babies. Completely almost halted their population growth. So we need to be mindful about the things that the scientists tell us, right? Because at the end of the day, they're the ones trying to keep us sick and away from God. And away from God. So I thought this was really cool, man. Yeah. Somebody supposedly got some footage beyond the ice wall. I mean, I really hope so. Let's watch this video because it is something to see. And I want this to be real. I want this to be real. So therefore, in my mind right now, it is. Are you ready for this? I mean, what am I looking at here? Dude. Dude, look at this stuff. I mean, I don't even know what I'm looking at. But it looks so old. And again, the stone structure is just... God, man. I mean, if this is real and somebody went beyond... Look at this stuff, man. Everything... I mean, Bible... Wow, dude. I want that to be real. That's so AI, isn't it? Mysterious footage of explorers flying beyond the legendary ice wall has surfaced. Helicopters soar over endless frozen fields as the camera captures unusual formations and structures that do not match known Antarctic geography. The clips continue to fuel debate about what lies past the official maps. No official expedition has claimed these sequences. They keep circulating, a careful staged digital creation or visual evidence of territories that were never meant to be reached. So, is this real? Probably not. But is that what we would see beyond the ice wall? Yeah, that's what we would see. It's all around us. This world is vast. It is large. We're just stuck in the center of it. We're not allowed to leave. Again, we're trapped because whatever was going on beyond that ice wall was uncontrollable for them. They had no control over that. They have control over what we have right now. And I do believe that there is something else out there. It has been depicted in the Bible, and the stories are real. So therefore, there is a chance that these things and these, I mean, that looks like World Fair stuff, does it not? And we can't make anything from the World Fair. We can't make any of the buildings that we see today in France and Italy and all those master beautiful buildings with all the hand carving. And how did they do it? We don't know because we make boxes. That's all we make is boxes. So where did that all go? Well, I believe we would see more of that old world if we were to get beyond the ice wall that they say that we can't, which I know we can. So we've been lied to about everything in this existence. This clip breaks it down. Everything in existence, everybody. Are you ready for this? I know we have. I keep telling you we have. I just wish everybody would understand that, we are all being lied to all the time.
taught that electricity was discovered in the 1800s. But when you look at the architecture of the old world, the story begins to fall apart. Cathedrals, government buildings, and city halls from the 1700s and 1800s are covered in copper domes, antennas, metallic spires, and grounding rods that look less like decoration and more like components of a massive electrical system.
Yep.
Many of these buildings sit on star-shaped foundations identical to the grounding patterns used in modern energy grids. Some have towers shaped like capacitors. Others have domes designed to collect atmospheric charge. So the question becomes, what were these buildings really doing? Here is where it gets even stranger. In the late 1800s, Nikola Tesla claimed the Earth's atmosphere is a natural conductor of electricity. He said energy could be drawn from the air itself and transmitted wirelessly with the right architecture. Now look again at the old world. Copper spires, symmetrical domes, giant coil-like towers, buildings arranged in perfect geometric grids, as if tuned to the natural frequency of the Earth. Was Tesla reinventing something a previous civilization already understood? Ancient maps show cities glowing with electric light before electricity was discovered. Historical records describe arc lamps on streets that had no power plants, and entire World Fair cities were illuminated with no visible source of energy. Then suddenly the architecture changed. The domes disappeared, the spires were removed, and the buildings that once resembled energy devices were repurposed as churches, capitals, and courthouses. It is almost as if we inherited the technology, but not the instructions.
And yes. You want to know what they used for the energy? Ether. They knew about ether. They knew about collecting the energy, distributing the energy. They used blimps to transfer energy from one building to another through the antennas. Yes. Yeah. They found a way to harvest the energy that the planet was providing for us. But guess what? It didn't make the Rockefellers any money. It didn't make these people, they didn't make any money from it. Otherwise, hydrogen vehicles would exist. Those people would not exist. Anything that takes away from their money-making scheme is what will fail, because they need all the money. It's just like medicine. It's the same thing, everybody. The medicine industry, pharmaceutical industry, they are meant to poison. There have been many things, and I don't have this video lined up today, so this will just be a mention, but there's been many things that have been utilized, and when Big Pharma found out that, let's just say, thousands of IUs of vitamin C was curing massive diseases. And I'm talking a shit ton of vitamin C. But the pharmaceutical company couldn't have that. So they did tests that was using less and then said it didn't work, deemed it wrong, and then made a pill for whatever they were doing. So the pharmaceutical company, let's just say, if you have to inject yourself with 1,000 IUs of vitamin C to cure whatever disease you have, then the pharmaceutical company made a pill with 1% of the vitamin C that you actually need, so that it takes longer for you to get better. This is by design, and that's just a small, out of the nutshell example. I've got something for it, but what I'm saying is that all of them have lied to all of us for so long that a lot of us have accepted the lie. And the simple fact is that this world could give us everything we need without ever needing money or Yeah, we wouldn't need money. The fact that we need money today is the lie. I know we do in retrospect. I'm just saying that we don't. Everything that we need is provided by the planet. If we just learned to utilize it and stop offing the people that want to help us utilize it. But again, it takes away from the billionaires and the billionaires and the millions of the dollars and the gold. So I think gravity is measurable. I think that gravity is not what they tell us. Gravity is not this imaginable thing. But imagine, because it may not even be gravity itself. Maybe gravity doesn't exist. Let's watch.
You won't believe this, but gravity, it's the biggest magic trick you never questioned. They told you an invisible force pulls everything down. But somehow planes fly, helium floats, butterflies dance in the air, and oceans, millions of tons of water, magically cling to a spinning ball at 1,000 miles per hour. They say gravity holds skyscrapers upside down in Australia, yet a balloon escapes its grip like it owes nothing. Think about this. If gravity pulls us down, what's pulling the clouds up? What's lifting smoke or birds soaring without falling? And if gravity is so precise, why doesn't it crush ants or flatten humans? They say the Earth spins at insane speeds, orbiting the sun while flying through space at over 1 million miles a day. But you feel nothing. Not a single breeze, not a single tilt, just stillness.
Yeah.
You drop an apple and say, that's gravity. But
Yes.
did you question what really made it fall? Or did you just repeat what the system fed you? Now listen closely. What if what pulls things down isn't a force from the center of a spinning ball, but something far simpler? Density and buoyancy. Heavy things sink, light things rise, period. A feather floats, a brick drops, water finds its level every time. No need for imaginary forces or spinning space marbles. On a flat, motionless plane, this makes perfect sense. Up is up, down is down, not toward the core, but toward the ground, always. Still think gravity is real? Then explain this. If gravity is holding oceans to the globe, why doesn't it stop a butterfly from taking off? Why do engineers never calculate gravity when building bridges, tunnels, or railroads? Why do they design everything assuming a level Earth, not a curved one?
Yeah.
You've never seen curvature. You've never felt motion. You've never experienced gravity. You've just been told it's real. Even NASA admits gravity isn't a force. It's a theory. A math trick, a story you believed without ever testing it yourself. And here's the kicker. When you were a kid, it didn't even make sense. You just learned to stop asking questions. So now ask yourself, if gravity isn't real, what else did they fake? What if the Earth isn't spinning? Or a globe at all? What if you've been lied to since birth? This isn't about science, it's about control. Because once you wake up to this one lie, the whole system starts to crumble.
Yep.
Don't just scroll. Investigate. Question. Watch the sky. Drop a ball. Test the truth. And whatever you do, never blindly believe what they told you in school, because the real force is your mind waking up.
See, and that's where I start to understand gravity is definitely a magnetic. It's like a magnetic pull, man. It's in the planet. There is an energy that we can pull from. That's how they were getting the power. They understood the grid. If you look at those buildings, it looks like a computer chip. The computer chips that we build today look like the cities of our past. So you tell me they weren't utilizing the planet properly. They had a code. They knew how to extract what they needed. And if it's a magnetic pull and you add in ether, man, there's ways to make that work. And that means you can get conductivity, and they found a way to get water to move. They found a way to get electricity, and it was all provided by the planet for everyone to use for free. And I think that's where I go, man, it seems like everything that we've lost was free and benefited us. And everything that we have today costs us money and it hurts us. So, yeah, gravity it doesn't exist, man. It doesn't exist, just like your round earth doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You're lying to us all. I love bells. And I'm going to go back to what I was saying earlier about the cross and my wife's grandmother. She got these little bells. One of them shaped like one of those like porcelain dolls, and there's like 2 or 3 other ones, but they look like other things, right? They look like little dolls or statues, and you pick them up and bing, 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 bing. Dude, she brought those home, took them out of the box, and was like ringing the bells. And I was like, wow, that is so soothing. And I was like, man, this is why they got rid of them. But there's more reasons to why they got rid of the bells.
A lot of the early Christian traditions talked about how demons hated the sound of church bells. Did you know that there's a strategic effort to remove church bells from old school churches? And they stopped making them. What's interesting about that too is, have you ever seen the movie where Venom is hearing the church bells?
Oh yeah, and he goes ballistic.
He goes ballistic.
Yeah.
Dude, they're showing us the reality in these movies.
That makes sense, because Venom, really the whole idea of Venom is demonic in origin.
I truly believe that there was a concerted effort to get rid of these church bells because it irritated demons. And we know that music can ward off evil spirits. Let's look at the Old Testament, where King David was playing instruments to ward an evil spirit off of Saul. Guaranteed, it's really hard to find a church with bells anymore. And if you look at the theories on why they stopped making church bells, they try to come up with excuses like, oh, the material is too expensive. You really go deep into that, it's all a lie.
It was part of the agenda to remove them.
The bells did something, everybody. The bells were amazing. I miss hearing the church bell that used to ring every hour on my street. And it's gone. They ripped it down like 2-3 years ago. Ripped the tower out, ripped the bell out, knocked down the tower, and then just put up put up a new wall. It's really, really sad. And yeah, I believe that the bells were warding off evil spirits, and that's why they're disappearing 100%. Why else would they be disappearing? It's not about material. It's not about material. Oh, the material to make. That's a bunch of BS. You make all kinds of crazy garbage today. You can't make a bell? No, you don't want to make a bell because it wards off the evil spirits and the demons. And you're all evil spirits and demons. So they're stopping us from warding them off. And the more that you look into it, the more that you understand it, and the more that you see it. They're lying to us always. Everything that they've told us is a lie. Nothing that they give us or sell us benefits us. And everything is to keep us controlled and sick. And I'm really getting sick of them trying to control me, to be fair. It's very annoying and I don't like it. And that's why I pray every day. and really try to be a better person from day to day. But man, oh man, what a time, what a time. What an episode, everybody. And now it's 5:30 in the morning. And I got to get going. I got a tree to cut down for my mom. And I've got some Coke. Oh, man, I got coffee downstairs that I'm very excited for. So I'm going to get my morning started. And with that all being said, everybody, again, I just want to say thank you to all of my subscribers out there. You're the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're new, remember to subscribe. You want an opportunity to tell your story or be a guest? TALKIN with Topher@gmail.com. Send an audio, video, or type it out. And of course, Linktree link is in the description below the video, along with all links discussed on this podcast today. So go do your own research and have an enjoyable Thursday. I hope everybody enjoys their weekend. And as always, I will talk to you next week.